What is language? And how do we learn a second language? Hello friends, I'm Ryan. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that connects us all, language. Also, I'll share some tips on how to master a second language. Let's jump right in. Language is our ability to share meaning and communicate messages. We can do this through spoken words, written symbols, or even gestures. For example, if I knock on the table, it can mean something like asking for attention or stressing a point. This is a way of communicating too. Additionally, sign language is a powerful example of how gestures can be used to communicate complex ideas or emotions without spoken words.
I'm fine. Nice to meet you. Nice meet you.
It should be considered that language isn't just a human trait. Many animals have their own ways of communicating. For example, dogs communicate with each other by barking, while birds use chirps and songs to convey messages. Dolphins use a series of clicks and whistles to communicate with one another. Moreover, some animals, like parrots, can mimic words. But this isn't real speech. It's just an imitation, learned through training.
É o Dudu? É o Dudu da mãe? É.
The key point to note is that our ability to communicate through speech sets humans apart from other animals. The way we form words reflects the wisdom of human beings. Although the number of letters in any language's alphabet is limited, it's remarkable that humans can create an infinite variety of sentences from this final set of letters. That's really interesting. This flexibility allows us to express abstract concepts, emotions, and intricate ideas. What do you think? Knowing the origin of language is also significant. Some people believe that language comes from a divine source, meaning it is a gift from God that allows us to communicate and share our thoughts and feelings. For example, many religious texts emphasize the importance of language as a means of divine communication. On the other hand, others support the social theory, which emphasizes that language developed as a tool for social communication and cooperation among humans. The theory is supported by the fact that early human communities relied on cooperation for survival, making communication essential. It seems that language has developed over time, as humans learn to understand the relationships between external objects and describe them with words. For example, we learn that every effect has a cause. We know that fire causes burning. Additionally, the origins of words in any language are important because they reflect the culture and history of the people who use that language. For instance, many English words have roots in Latin and Greek, reflecting the influence of those ancient cultures. As our world changes, so does our language, adapting to new ideas and experiences, such as the introduction of technology-related vocabulary like internet and smartphone. Now let's explore the connection between language and thought. Language and thought are deeply connected and may even be identical. External language is simply a way to express our internal thought. As language develops, our thinking also grows. In fact, language allows us to have conversations with ourselves and shape our thoughts. This issue brings us to a philosophical question. Which comes first, meaning or the form of words? I mean, do we first have an idea in our minds and then find the words to express it? Or do we start with the words and then understand their meaning? For example, when we read a book, do we understand the sentences because we already know the meanings of the words? Or do we figure out the meaning as we read? This is an important question to think about. In this video, I'll cover the fundamental concepts of language recognition. Some of these topics have more in-depth details that I'll explore in future videos, so stay tuned. Now let's talk about how we can learn a new language effectively. Understanding how language develops in humans can help us in this process. Think about how children learn to express their thoughts and experiences through language as they interact with the world around them. A significant factor in children's language learning is that they learn language with a fresh mind and rely on the people around them to express their needs. For example, toddlers often learn new words by copying their parents and caregivers. As a result, their focus on their environment and their desire to communicate are two key factors in their language learning. On the other hand, for adults, the process is a bit different. Adults often have more distractions and are influenced by their native language, which can make learning a new language harder. So what solutions do we have? To overcome this, you should first prepare your mind. It's very important to start with a positive attitude. Remember, it's totally okay to make mistakes. That's part of the learning process. Immersing yourself in the language can significantly enhance your learning experience. For example, watching movies or TV shows in the language you're learning, listening to music, or following podcasts can help you get used to how the language sounds and its cultural details. This kind of exposure allows you to hear how native speakers use the language in everyday situations. Another effective strategy is to set specific achievable goals for your language learning journey. For instance, you might aim to learn a certain number of new words each week, or practice speaking for a set amount of time each day. This approach not only keeps you motivated, but also helps you track your progress. Remember that patience and persistence are key. Language learning is a gradual process, and it's important to celebrate the small victories along the way. Whether it's successfully ordering food in a restaurant or having a short conversation with a native speaker. Each achievement is a step forward in your journey. Don't forget to practice regularly, even if it is just for 15 minutes a day. It's better to practice a little bit often than to cram all at once. Research shows that short, frequent study sessions can enhance retention and understanding, make it easier to recall information later. Make it real.
Hakawi with a chance to seal the deal, and across to Ronaldo. It's 3-1 and 3 points for Al Nassr. A glorious defence splitting pass, and the youngster setting up.
Use your new words and phrases in routine activities. Keep in mind that the more you use the language in ways that matter to you, the more you will learn. I believe that persistent in preparing your mind and applying what you learn are two important factors that can lead to success in language learning. If you look at successful language learners, you'll often find they follow these principles. They often find ways to connect it to their personal interests and actively seek opportunities to practice in common experiences. Thank you all for joining me and watching this episode. I'm here to bring you more exciting content on language recognition and tips for learning new languages. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more updates and leave your messages in the comments below. Until next time, take care and goodbye.